Good morning. Good morning, Lag. Good morning, Mr. Bumcrack. And good morning to anybody else that happens to be out there that just hasn't chatted. Toddrick will not be joining us today because he is running some errands for the boss. And so it's just us. Beth, if you're listening, I'm glad that you got your power back on yesterday because I know it's getting ready to be a scorcher down there. Because it's supposed to be in the 80s real soon. 87, 88. So, as Roberta said, it is June. So, there you go. So, I hope all of y'all are prepared for the hot weather, especially that Texas crowd. Mr. Bumcrack, you're probably just getting the life raft out, aren't you? It rains a lot in June. So, anyway, it's dry today. Well, good. In June, y'all's rainy weather. So, anywho, we're getting ready to go on the Memorial Day weekend. So, it's a bank holiday. No post office, no banks. I guess the banks are closed. They're not always. Yes, they are. Most major banks are closed. Good morning, Major Win. I've added you to my list in the description. Good morning, Tactical Z. Good morning, Texas Bandit. Texas, were you affected by all that storm in Texas? I was looking at the yard sales and whatnot for the weekend here in Charlotte, and it's kind of light this weekend, but next weekend it's supposed to be really busy. Lots of community yard sales. I guess people are trying to get some extra coin to go on vacation with. Especially, we have a big retirement community below us, like 3,000 homes, and they're having a big community wide yard sale down there next weekend. Oh, Texas, you didn't have power for 4 days either? It's back on now, I hope. Because if it's going to be in the high 80s here, it means it's going to be hot down there. Do y'all have a lot going on planned for this weekend? Or y'all taking a holiday weekend? Which Lag is always on holiday weekend, so. How were y'all sales yesterday? Is it improving any? Lag, you need some therapy, son. Cooking on the grill, coffee and cookies has bacon and eggs ready. All right. Yeah, we live in the time of everything runs off of electricity, and most people cook with electricity. Or we cook with electricity. So when it goes out, it's time to get the grill out. Excuse me. Sounds like you have been busy trying to get everything cleaned up, Texas. Major win. You got tomorrow off. Going to be doing a ton of listing. So are you off tomorrow instead of Monday? Good morning, Mr. Sadie. Are you on your way to Texas, Lag? Well, today was Roberta's blood draw day. We had to be up at the hospital at about 6:45, and so I took her up there for that and came back and then made breakfast. So we've done breakfast around here. Well, that's good. You're off tomorrow and Monday. You really got a long weekend. Texas, y'all lost about 40 trees. Well, at least you're going to have firewood for next winter. Lag is one of the problems. Tactical Z. So are y'all going over to the beach, Doug, for the holidays? Yeah, it'll be wore out. Roe will be looking for carpet. Even though it might be a good time to put industrial strength carpet down. Oh, I thought you California crowd always go over to the shore and excuse me, that's the Yankees on the East Coast that go to the shore. You go over to the beach and surf and boogie board and lay out, all that kind of stuff. Isn't that what Californians do? Or is that just young Californians? Young Californians. Pine, oak, and yellow pine, Texas, that'll burn in a fireplace if you need to, if it's cold. Or is it big enough that you can sell it to like a timber company? Oh, that's right. Y'all having a big to do in let's see she announced yesterday, Texas. She announced yesterday that she got power back on, and I'm glad because that's got to be hard. Well, it is hard. Got the stage set up already. Yeah, y'all having that big to do this weekend at the ranch at the farm, Mr. Sadie, right? Now, do you and the boss lady come to you and Mrs. Sadie come to that, or are you there as a helper? Yeah, lag. You don't have to hang around if you don't want to. There she is. Good morning, Beth. I'm glad you got some power back on and the air conditioning running, I hope. Yeah. Texas, that's the way to do it. You will be there with the grandkids? Well, that's cool. Are there a bunch of kids there? Yeah, Beth, I'm glad that y'all didn't have any major issues. I mean, I know no power, internet, and cable is not having that is a major issue, but at least nobody got hurt or any of that kind of mess. Good morning, Chicken and Toad. Where are you going on vacation? If you want to share, you going to you going to Lag's house and hang out with him for the weekend? Yeah. Any major issues with? Yeah. Any major issues with anybody's reselling today? Yeah. Lag's got a 40,000 square foot basement. He's good. Everybody head to his house. Do you don't have reptiles in that lake, do you? Oh, Panama City Beach sounds nice, Chicken Toad. Be safe in New Orleans. Good morning, Kent. Oh, 8 people died. That's sad. That's bad. We're glad that you weren't one of them, or your wife, or your children and grandchildren. I don't. That's the only thing about ponds and lakes is there's snakes, and I don't. You know, Sweet Daddy don't do snakes. At least, at least in the pond you can see your feet. I mean, at least in the pool. I wonder if Todd ever got around to getting his opened up for the season yet. He's been so busy. His pool. Yeah. Sweet Daddy. That came from the TV series with JJ in it. Is it Good Times? There was a pimp called Sweet Daddy. He had to run some errands for his wife. Actually, he's going to pick up his mother-in-law, so he's gonna be gone for the day. You were postponing your Austin's. Oh, y'all did end up in the ER because of dehydration. But all is well. Postponing my Austin sourcing trip this weekend. There's a lot to do. Um, Did y'all have a lot of wind damage? I mean, did you have a lot of damage in your yard around your house, Beth? Which row? My row or Doug's row? My row's working. Yeah, 'cause it's only 7:15. What, 7? Yeah, 7:15 out there. I gotta get me a clock that says East Coast, West Coast, Central Time. She's recharging her batteries. Can't. 6:15. That's right, 3 hours. Yeah. I remember the days where I had to be at work at 7:15 in the morning. That was that was a bit. Now it uh, 6:15 and on the East Coast is too early. Yeah, I know. Doug's other major win. His other job is that he teaches surfing in the afternoons because everybody in California surfs. Really, Beth? That's the way it is here. It can rain hard and we lose power. It's is that 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. Major? I'm assuming a.m. since you will have already worked for 4 hours. Oh, okay. 10 p.m. Yeah, right. Are you still listing at 10 p.m. or are you shipping? Yeah, that sounds like a good live show, Beth. Be sure and shout it out when you get it set up. You know, no power during the winter is not bad because you can get the comforters out of and the blankets out of the closet. But the summertime, you can only take off so many clothes before the law gets called. Yeah, well, you're young. You can do it, Doug. Now I was going to say something, and I've totally blah blah blah. The Generac, is that a hard mount to the house, Beth? Oh yeah. Good morning.
What's up, Tom? What's up, buddy?
Not a lot.
Oh, hang on. Hang on. I ain't got no. What's going on here?
I'm looking at the. Oh, I was looking at Beth. Beth got a Generac. I was looking to see what all that was. Do you? So you like it, Beth? Good morning, Ping. Are you having a? So I was looking at that Generac, and then I got to come back, and everybody started to talk. Okay. Well, I meant it's hardwired to the house. Yeah, we've been talking. We've talked about getting one of those. Thank you for the $1.99, Doug. Appreciate it. Um,
Can't.
what are you doing sitting down? You got
Who?
everything ready for your party?
No, I'm only one man, Tom.
Well, you don't have a bunch of people. He don't have a bunch of the help from the plant come over to you.
Occasionally, I'll take some guys, but for the most part, I'm on my own. I mean, I hire a lot of stuff out, to be fair,
Right.
but
Now he's got a big place there. Do you have like a I mean, a yard service, lawn service come in and
oh
do all?
yeah, yeah. His yard bill is probably more than my total nut every month.
Really?
Yeah, it's probably about $5 grand a month.
Well, that's good that
He's
you're not
got.
having to worry about that.
No, I don't have to worry about it. I got good people for that. I've had the same guy for a while.
Well, good.
What are you doing this weekend, buddy? You
Probably
and
not a
Roberta.
whole lot of. Roberta's off on a long weekend, so we'll probably just hang out, goof off. Same old for the weekend.
Surprised you're not going to be on a cruise for the holiday.
Uh, we tried. She's
No,
still.
I wish, Ken.
We've got one in December, and I think she's trying to find another one before then. But that one's already booked and paid for, and it's one of the last ones out of Charleston. So we tried to get one
Oh, well, that's
more
good.
in. Well,
Yeah,
they're moving the cruise ship from Charleston to Virginia, Norfolk, and
I see.
because it makes too much noise for the Charleston people. So we were trying we
Well,
were trying to get one last one in before they moved it, just for old times' sakes.
is there that many around that can hear the?
Well, it sits right on the peninsula. If you look at Google Earth at at Charleston, sometimes the picture has the ship sitting, but it's between it's the Ravenel Bridge crosses Charleston Harbor or the Cooper River, and
Okay,
it's sitting. It sits on the ocean side of the Ravenel Bridge, um, which you still have to go by Fort Sumter and all that, getting out of the harbor. But you can see the ship from the other side of Charleston because it is so flat and there's no towers. So when if they were to make like when they before they leave the port, they or leave the dock, they have to test all of their emergency signals and bells and whistles and all, and so it just echoes all the way to oh Lord James Island because there's nothing to stop the sound. So they don't like it,
Yeah.
and I can sort of understand it because if I paid 2 million, 3, 4, 5 million dollars for a little house down on the Battery, that would be kind of irritating. But one of the things that people are talking about is how what kind of tax cut they're or tax hit they're going to get from the ship not being there because
Oh
you
yeah.
you're
Right.
paying like $15 a person just to, your port tax.
Right.
So
Have a good day, Beth.
yeah,
Congratulations, you finally caught me. You got six coming. You finally caught me. That's how many I got.
from y'all's business, do y'all buy directly from farmers or do y'all go through a national wholesaler or how do y'all do that? Or are y'all the
Oh,
national wholesaler?
we're a wholesaler. Our stuff comes directly from the farm.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering about that.
Yeah,
Are you having problems
all
getting
over the
in?
place.
Are y'all having problems getting it?
Mexico. Uh, the trucking business is a little. It's crazy right now, to be honest with you. But they work it out. I don't know. I'm not in the day to day of it. I just
Right,
hear the overspill of things. But uh, the biggest problem is, we sell a lot of bananas here, and
right,
they come from Honduras. So the biggest problem is, when I have to ship stuff over from Honduras in containers and stuff, it's always a pain.
right.
You know.
And so they just y'all get the containers full of bananas.
No,
Oh, you don't?
no, they come in on truck. They go from the container to the truck to
Oh,
us, and then we gas them, wrapping them. There's, I don't know, 6 stages of ripening with a banana.
right,
But the gassing is the big process that we do, and then we sell a little bit of what you call it. Oh, without the processed crap in it. What do you call it?
right. Oh, organic.
Yeah, we have
Organic?
some organic items. Right, we have a few organic items as well.
Right,
We're certified to sell organic. Yeah, it's a whole certification deal. It's got to be in a separate room. You got to have chain of custody records.
right.
It's a crazy deal. You can't put a pallet of this over a pallet of that, and I mean it's craziness time. It's expensive.
Back when I was young, yeah, about 100 years ago, I went to a cookout and they were having hamburgers and hot dogs. Excuse me. And a couple of the people there were vegans, and
Uh huh.
they brought their own grill and their own spatula and tongs, so there would be no chance of anybody grabbing up one of their vegan hamburgers, vegan burgers, I guess you'd call them, didn't get laid down on a grill
Right.
where hamburgers had been cooked, and
Right.
it was. I mean, they were like crazy about it. Well, that couple ended up getting a
Yeah.
divorce. That couple ended up getting a divorce, and the husband ended up marrying a woman that had a hamburger joint. So I think he was just a
Now they're
vegan
gonna.
because of his wife.
Right. Right.
Uh, um,
Well, we do
Kent
crazy
wants to,
things for our wine.
yeah, Kent wants to know if y'all process any weed.
We have our next door neighbor down here actually does. They don't process weed, but they're an edible kitchen.
Are
That's
they?
what they do, and it stinks to high heaven all day long.
What do they? I
You
mean,
get
like,
you get high. You get high just walking past a place. It stinks so bad sometimes.
so is recreational use legal too, or just medicinal?
No, it's just about all legal here nowadays.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I told
We have
Roberta.
drive-through dispensaries.
Really? Drive through?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
just go to the drive up window.
I tell Roberta if it ever, medicinal ever comes, which it's just about to pass here in Charlotte, becomes legal or in North Carolina. I told her I was gonna get some gummies to see if it helped my arthritis. It might
It
not do
might.
anything. It might not do anything for the arthritis specifically, but at least it'll make you feel better.
She might be able to put up with you more. She'll tell
Yeah,
you it's working just because it mellows you out a little bit.
yeah, that would be
No, it's. I've heard it helps, does wonders for some people, and then I've heard it. Other people, the side effects kind of override what they're looking to do, and then I've heard, you hear different stories about it,
right.
but I think it can be a helpful in some cases. I've got
Yeah,
a son, my oldest boy. I can't imagine him not having it. To be honest with you, Tom, he's real. He's just nervous and high strung, and
right.
uh, it just he's a different person, and it really helps him.
Is that is that the one with the kangaroos, or is that a different one?
Yeah, no, it's the one with the kangaroos. I wonder why he's so nervous all the time. Damn kangaroos and monkeys walking through the kitchen.
Yeah, I sent my niece a private message saying, "Hey, a friend of mine's son has kangaroos on his farm out in Missouri." She said, "Where did he get them from?" Her husband would
Yeah,
have a stroke if she had a couple kangaroos hopping around her farm.
they've got three now. They got a baby, like I guess a young one, and then they've got an older one, a full size one. They're a
We
pain. I don't know how they don't even they're not even fenced in or anything. Tom, they have one of them like
collar,
Apple Watch type. Yeah, where they can track them and all that. And
really cool.
yeah, and they don't. I mean, they stay pretty close. They did, a couple years ago, they did make the news. One got loose out on the interstate, so
When
there was
we
a big news article. If you look up kangaroo loose in High Ridge, Missouri, you'll see the article.
when we were in Australia, we went one of the tours that we were on. Um, we went through a zoo, and you walk through this one area, and there's just kangaroos and everywhere.
Yeah, they're a nuisance over there in a lot of places. I hear.
Yeah, well, when we were there, and I've mentioned this before, we saw um, Toyota Previas, which is a minivan for you that don't know, and they had the kangaroo catchers on the front of them. Over here, they'd probably be called cow catchers, but over there, they're kangaroo
Right.
catchers. And
Yeah, it's sad.
our friends they lived over in the Yuppie area of town, and his wife drove a Previa, and I told Chris, I said, we need to get one of those and ship it home and put it on Sandy's minivan, her Previa. And he says, well, we need to send 4 or 5 extra ones because we'll have them sold the first time she drives to work.
Right.
But and just for, he was talking to, had to take it in to have some tire work done onto it. And he was talking to, one of the tire technicians. And they said, well, if you do that, you need to bring it in here so we can realign your tires, check the front end on it, and make sure, how the shocks are or the struts.
Right.
He says, because that thing's going to be putting a lot of weight on the front of that car.
Right. Right.
Felix, Mr. Sadie's
We're gonna
young.
have to ban. We're gonna have to ban Felix for life.
I tell you, you don't look old at all. But then again, he has a hard job there, Mr. Felix. So he has to ride around in this truck and tell people what to do.
Right. It's tough pushing the buttons on the phone.
That's right. Well, actually, that can be a lot tougher than mentally stressful.
I actually do. I do a lot of physical work. Actually, I work on machinery and
Well, I know you do.
I
I was
stay busy. Trust me, I stay busy.
You know, Todd and I have to give you a hard time about something that because you always have you've
I
got the
got.
perfect life.
Oh yeah, Todd never lets me.
Your internet's down, lag.
I got a few years to go.
It it'll come it'll come at you like a freight train. I'm promising you that.
All right, it's kind of like getting your driver's license. You can't wait, and then you get it, and everybody wants you to go to the store for them, and you're sick of your driver's license after about 6 months.
Well, you know, I mean, I was that way, but not because my friends wanted me to go to the store or take them around, ride them around. It was because my dad's business. He would say, I'd come in from school, which that's the reason I drove back and forth to school and not rode the big yellow limo, is because I was his errand boy. And he would hand me a stack of plats and addresses, and I'd have to deliver them and go by attorney's office and pick up stuff. And people's like, "You get to drive all the time. That's got to be cool." And I'm like,
Right.
it would be cool if I was out just goofing off. But when you got to go someplace and be there at a specific time and be back to your house in a specific time or your dad's office, then it's not fun.
Yeah, I'm over the driving. I can do without it.
I don't. And Roberta likes she drives. She likes to drive. So
Well, I had my second oldest granddaughter graduated high school last night, so I had to go to that. And then I found out yesterday my niece is having twins for the second time.
she's having a second set of twins.
A second set of twins.
Oh my God! Was she on like
I can't
fertility
imagine.
stuff or just
I
it's time?
They had, well, the first time was uh well, what you call it, insemination or
Right,
artificial insemination or whatever.
right.
And she had twins out of that deal, and this one was a natural thing, and she got pregnant. Now she's got two more coming.
Oh God! So she'll have four all total, or she got some extra ones in there.
One. She got five. This will be five.
Oh Lord! Yeah,
Yeah, I can't imagine.
back in my younger days when I bowled a lot, I bowled with this couple, and they were going to have twins, but they ended with
Uh-huh.
the delivery came along that they had triplets. The doctor said that the other one had to be hiding behind one of its siblings. So
Right. Right.
he said, and her husband, I mean, her father was in the delivery room because her husband was on his way back from Atlanta because she went into labor early. And you know, the two first came out, which was a boy and a girl, and then he said, "Oh, we're not done here yet."
Wow.
So they ended up having
Triplets.
they had triplets.
Wow.
Sorry, Doug, I didn't
Yeah,
speak
I
for me.
agree.
The old
I
guy.
agree, Phil.
It's a
Who's
blessing,
the old
though,
guy?
Doug. Can't you see his fairy lights across the back of the room?
Doug. Doug's not old.
No, he's not.
Look at well,
He's just barely in his 40s, I think. Or are you still in your 30s, Doug?
Yeah, it's not important, Tom.
Okay, he's bumped over to the 40s by that conversation.
that's a little personal time.
How y'all doing this morning?
We're doing good.
Hey,
Good,
so
buddy. Good.
Mr. Sadie, did I hear that you're a truck driver?
No,
No.
no, no. I work for a produce company.
Oh, a produce company.
Yeah, yeah. We supply a few grocery store chains with packaged produce. We're a packing house to be uh, quite literal about it, but
Oh,
uh,
awesome.
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
sure
there's
you've
the
learned
old man.
stuff that, like, I'm sure you've learned some insider knowledge that makes you a little bit nervous about some kinds of produce. Where you're like, all right, well, I don't know.
We've had I mean, yeah, I guess I mean it depends on what you're referring to exactly, but uh, about 15 years ago we had a salmonella scare,
Really?
and
Yeah.
it almost put us out of business.
Oh man, that's wild.
Yeah, it was a bad deal because they stop everything when something like that happens.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's scary. Every industry has kind of their equivalent of that. Even the home health world, like that there's stuff that'll just grind stuff to a halt. That's scary too.
Oh yeah, I mean they quarantine everything you have in the building. That's how serious they take it. You know.
Well, I don't mean to drag down the whole conversation here. I should change my name from Perkyville right now
Yeah,
because
that's right. Todd, you still on the
Well,
road?
can you go get the real Doug? This ain't the real Doug. He's not perky enough.
Oh
Where's
yeah.
Todd at?
Todd is. He had
oh,
to go pick up his mother-in-law.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
Well, he could do like Beard. He could do like Beard and come on the show from the road. I mean,
you get the steering wheel cam.
right?
yeah. I imagine that was that that scare was something else, Mr.
Chiquita
Sadie.
and Del Monte. Chiquita and Del Monte.
Were they came from the Caribbean, or did they come from Hawaii?
Well, we get them from a few places, mostly
Yeah.
Honduras. They come from.
Right. I guess when you the bananas and the pineapples you get from like Dole and down in Hawaii, I guess that's really
Dole.
for the tourists.
We get Dole too. Yeah,
Do
we
you?
sell a lot of Doles as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Chiquita is not a half bad one. I think that's a pretty good one there, Kim.
Mr. Chiquita. No, we're not changing names.
Uh,
I've
Uh,
been
y-
I've been called worse.
yeah.
Tactical
Nobody's ever
Z
called me perky though.
Perky.
I
Yeah,
well, hey man,
I haven't been. I haven't
tell
been
you
Perky.
guys, nobody called me it either. You get what you get. I feel like it's like a call sign when you're in the Navy or something, where it's just like that would probably be my call sign at the side of my aircraft would just say
Perkyville.
Right, right.
just Perky. It's like, oh man, okay, great.
You
Tactical,
could
you're
do
a
a
truck
whole
driver?
no plantains, Phil.
No, I don't bring up pineapples all the time. Because I made this. If you go on a cruise, I'm telling you, if you go on a cruise and you decorate your door, do not put pineapples on your door upside downwards. That means you're a swinger.
I don't want to know how you
Yeah,
got that
plays
knowledge.
plays well with others. I think that's an old wives' tale, if you want to call that an urban myth, because
Oh man.
we haven't ever seen any. Not that I want to, but it's it would be good because I'm telling you, as soon as I see one, I'm gonna take a picture of it. And I'm gonna put it out in the Queen City Picker Show for the next time.
Don't worry, Tom. When they see you coming, they take all the pineapples down.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so because I'm gonna tell you what, there's some lovely looking people on that cruise ship, but there is some of them that I would not even want
Oh, you're killing me today.
lag to have to deal with.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm the ugly sister in the situation, Kent. So anyway,
Oh man, you guys are cut up, man.
is your is y'all's workload real busy because of the holiday, or Memorial Day is just not one of the real big ones, Mr. Sadie?
We get busier during the holiday. This isn't. We're cutting a lot of sweet corn right now, packaged
Oh,
corn.
really?
Uh,
Yeah, and corn and potatoes is usually picks up a little bit during the holidays. Mostly corn on summer holidays. Everybody likes corn, sweet corn. So
my dad tried, being that we're from coastal South Carolina where it's sand, that's basically dirty sand is what's down there.
Right.
My dad grew
Right.
up raising potatoes. And then we moved to Rock Hill, which is up in the clay bank of the South. And when he planted his first garden, he tried planting some potatoes and some pinto beans, peanuts. And they didn't do too good because clay seems to pack; it doesn't expand. So his potatoes, his potatoes were probably those little gourmet ones you see over in the gourmet section of the produce
Yeah.
section.
The little
And I,
beef-sized potatoes.
yeah,
We
and
we deal with that all the time out here because there's so much clay, especially
yeah,
right up where we're at. Everything that we essentially have to import the soil, otherwise it's so clay heavy out here. And
he
so
would.
Yeah. We get a lot of stuff from California, to be honest with you, Doug.
really, yeah.
Colorado's got the best sweet corn though. It's huge and just super sweet. It's great. It's awesome, but it's
Yeah, I
very
mean,
seasonal.
we've got some epic farmers out here too that make it work. But I mean, if you just go for the natural geography, there's a ton of clay in the soil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's when you have to stay away from root vegetables and go to stuff that grow up,
Yeah,
which is what
yeah,
my
Yeah.
dad.
We also package bicolor and white corn.
My mom used to fuss because my dad had an acre garden in our backyard, and my mom would spend the whole summer canning vegetables, which we ate all the time. We ate good, okay? We did not go hungry ever. There was always, vegetables on the table, and my mom would say, "You're killing us. You're killing me," because he would have, all this corn to put up. So my grandmother, my mom's mom, would come up and stay with us, and my dad would go out in the morning and he would pick vegetables, and then in the evening he would pick them again. And my grandmother thought, well, these vegetables are in the house; they needed to be put up. I guess is that what y'all call it where y'all live at? Putting up vegetables? You're canning vegetables. And my mom said she told her one time she said because my grandmother would come up and stay 2 or 3 weeks. After about a week, my mom would say, "Mama, I need you to go. I'm ready for you to go home." And I have never said that before. And my grandmother said, "Why?" And she said, "Because you're working me to death here." Because my mom was my dad's bookkeeper, so she was running the office of his company, plus trying to put up vegetables, and she was working too hard. But like I said, we did
Right.
not. We never went hungry. There was never, and we were all teenagers, so there was a lot of food being put away. I have two brothers, no sisters, and we but we never went hungry. There was plenty of food to eat. And time you fried squash and okra and stuff like that, you didn't even need a vegetable. I mean, you didn't even need a meat. I know I just probably just ticked off a bunch of people by saying that because there are people that don't eat vegetables.
We went to Applebee's last night after the graduation. I had a rack of ribs and order of fries.
Are they? Oh, Applebee's. Yeah. What's the other place that's closing down?
Was it TGI Fridays?
Red Lobster's closing. No, it's sort of like
Red Lobster.
yeah, Red Lobster's closing. Yeah, well, they're closing a bunch of them, and apparently slowly closing out the rest of them. No, it's sort of like a Applebee's, but it's not Applebee's.
Chili's maybe.
No, excuse me, it is Applebee's. I always get Applebee's and Chili's mixed up.
Applebee's,
Yeah.
Chili's, TGI Fridays. It's hard to tell them apart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
TG,
Right.
our TGI Fridays closed here.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
Do they close everywhere? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know about everywhere, but they closed here.
Yeah, I thought we
We
still had
used to
one
have.
kind of in our area, but I don't know.
Yeah, same here. I don't know. We used to have one or two here.
Yeah, again, can't tell them apart. I'm probably gonna look it up, and it's a Chili's or it's an Applebee's or something. It's just that they all look
Right.
and feel the same to me. It's like you go there, you can get an oversized margarita, a rack of ribs, and like a bunch of mac and cheese or something. I mean, it's all
Notice he
the same.
started off
Right.
with the oversized margarita.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, that's isn't that the first thing you think of if you think of those places? It's like you go in there and you see somebody at a table, and it's like they got like this bathtub of like cheap margarita on the table,
Right.
like a
Well, that's funny you said that. 'Cause last night was dollar margarita night at Applebee's.
Yeah.
what's it? It's like, hey,
It's
you're up,
like you get a tablespoon of tequila and the rest is pineapple juice. You know.
yeah, pineapple juice and sugar water. Yeah, sweet and
Right. Right.
sour.
Speaking of margaritas,
Yeah, you
for
better
y'all
use
that,
that gift card, Pim.
yeah, Ping, you better use that gift card because they're slowly closing them down. Unless it's
You
one
get
of
the
those that you
lobster.
can use at one of their sister. Check to see if you can use it at one of their sister companies. But I know Mister said he likes his poker. The casinos, when you go into a casino and you get the free drinks, it's like they pour bourbon into a glass, swish it around, and then pour the bourbon out, and then add whatever mixer you're going to put with it. On cruise ships, they don't do that. Those are some. I think the drinks in the casino are stronger than the ones out on the floor, if you want to call it that. Probably they want to get people tanked, so they'll sit there and spend a
Right.
bunch of money.
Yeah, yeah. What was your first clue on that one? For what incentive
Yeah,
would they have to
exactly.
do that, Tom?
They might be related, Z. I don't know.
Who is that?
We have a red we have a red robin here. I don't know if they're related to red lobster. We have a red robin here.
I
I
don't
don't
Couple
think.
of them.
think they're related at all. Like
I
I
don't think
don't think
they're.
a red
I
robin
don't
has
think
any
so.
seafood.
We ate red lobster. I mean, red robin not too long ago, and it's a burger place, an overpriced burger place.
All these places are overpriced nowadays.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. If I go out, if I'm going to go out to eat, if I'm going to eat a hamburger, I might as well run by McDonald's.
oh
Or
man,
McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, one of those places. Or
Yeah.
what's greasy burger, honey? Steak and Shake. I love
Yeah,
steak and shakes.
my wife works for Steak and Shake. 30 years.
Does she? At one of the
Yeah, 30
stores or
years.
corporate?
No, she works at well, a lot of them are franchised now. She
Right.
works her friend owns one, so
Okay.
but she was with Steak and Shake, like I say, for 30 years now. So she took a big hit when the pandemic and all that came around because she had a big clientele built up. I mean, she was making more money than I was at the time, probably.
Well, Steak and Shake has a
School food.
hamburger that's got everything on it, and it's with including grease, and it is so good because the grease and the chili and everything just kind of drips out of the burger. It is so good. So Roberta will say, "What you want for dinner?" And I'm like, "I don't know." She says, "Well, why don't you just pick us up something?" And she'll say, "Do you want to go? You want a greasy burger?" That's what we call them. It's
Right,
greasy burger.
right. Well, they kind of, who kind of mimicked their burger was Culver's. You ever eat Culver's?
Yeah, we've got one.
Yeah, they kind of
It,
got they call it a butter burger, but it's similar to Steak and Shake.
yeah.
that is
So
so funny. Though. I have a buddy that calls those things tasty regret.
what's that?
Yeah,
Like those kinds of burgers.
Oh,
Yeah, it's tasty
yeah,
regret. Where it's like it's great when you're eating it, and then like immediately afterward, it feels like you got a brick in your stomach, and then goodness help you the next day when you're on the can, man.
um,
I've never had Five Guys. I don't know about them. I heard they're expensive.
They're a little pricey and they're total grease bomb. Especially, but one thing that's crazy about them, like for whatever portion you get, they give you like 2.5 times the amount of fries that you think you're gonna get. Like if you get a small it's like a McDonald's large, and then it just goes wild from there. So,
Oh,
but I
okay,
mean, but
okay,
you pay for it. It comes out in the money though too. It's not like it's not just pure
right, right,
generosity there.
right.
I, I like I said, I am not a gourmet hamburger eater.
AC unit kicked on. Is that too loud, Tom?
Do I?
Can you hear that AC unit?
I can't hear anything.
Okay, I just didn't want to mess up your live here.
But I like I said, I like the greasy burgers, and and if I'm going to eat a hamburger, I'll uh, I'll whip it by McDonald's because there's one right at the end of our street, and there's a Jack in the Box, and I like their Jack and Big Jack burgers because it's got lettuce and tomato and stuff like that. McDonald's doesn't really have burgers with lettuce and tomato on it.
Yeah, our McDonald's near us
Uh,
every day, all the time, even up till close. You'll see a line that goes out of the McDonald's parking lot, and it actually backs up traffic down the main road next to it. Like I've never seen anything like that before. It's just out of this
that's
world.
that's Chick-fil-A here.
Oh, our Chick-fil-A too. That one's the Chick-fil-A has like multiple lines. They've reserved a huge section of the parking lot. I mean, Chick-fil-A, it looks like a swap meet when you're out there. It's like everybody's with their windows down talking to each other,
But
sitting in the
their
line.
their production of getting customers in and out, the way they're doing it now, where they've got the drive-through parts way over here, and they got a couple of kids taking orders, and by the time you get to the window, it's done. But that's because they got 10 people back there in the back cooking.
Yeah.
Roberta loves Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A.
I like In and Out too, especially I like the fact that when you're sitting in line and you're getting ready to cruise up to the window, that they got huge panels of glass, and you kind of like just watch everybody in there just working and flying around next to each other and working hard and everything. It's just like, all right, wow, like you see them doing their whole process through that giant window.
I went into where was the restaurant I went into just
I've been
recently?
eating less and less at McDonald's. They just, I don't know. I've been getting turned off by their tactics at the window when they want you to
Right.
round up your change. It gets under my skin. I'm not a cheap guy. I promise I'm not a cheap guy. But nothing worse than being told, than being asked every single time to round up your change, round up your. I have no idea where this money's going. I didn't, I haven't researched the Ronald McDonald House. I don't know how all that works. I
Right.
have charities that I donate to. If there's a
Right.
put a can out in front of the register. If I want to pull some money out of my pocket and throw it in there, I will.
Yeah.
It
Well,
just I just want a breakfast sandwich. I don't want to make conversation. I don't want to talk about charities. I'm just trying to get my ass to work.
my niece has a daughter, and she was like way preemie. She was in intensive care for months, and so they they used the Ronald McDonald House to stay at while their daughter was in intensive care. So I we kind of support it because they stayed there and it didn't cost them anything, and it was right there
Yeah,
at
well,
the
I have no
hospital.
doubt
And
I
I
have
mean,
no doubt it's a great charity.
but you're right. When you hit drive-through,
Just the
there's a
way they go
basket
about
right up under the window. You throw your change in, and I think the
Yeah,
problem
I
is
mean,
no
just the way they go about it.
nobody uses money anymore. Nobody uses cash anymore. Nobody uses. There is no change because for the longest time they wanted you to use exact change.
Yeah.
Well, and what do you say? Would you like to donate 10 cents to children and abused women? I mean,
Yeah,
they expect people to say no. I mean, it they put you in a bad moral spot. It's just
Yeah.
it aggravates me. I don't know why. It just
yeah.
aggravates
Uh, uh, Felix, I've never been too impressed with Fuddruckers. I mean, we don't have any around here, but when we did, we ate there a couple of times, and I just,
Didn't they go
I never
defunct?
had them.
Didn't Fuddruckers get knocked out of the race?
yeah, they did.
Mhm.
Oh
Now
wow, see.
he's over in Dubai or someplace like that. So, you know, where people, there still might be a Fuddruckers at 6 over there.
Wow, that's crazy, Tactical Z. You know, it's wild. So we had a friend of our family here that they actually set the record. I don't remember exactly what the time frame was, but they set the record for like the youngest preemie child that survived. And it was a wild day. My mom went over. It was when I was a teenager, but my mom went over to help babysit our their friends' kids
Right?
because the wife was pregnant, and then they wanted to go on a little date day. She pulls up into the driveway, and right as my mom is saying hello to them at the door, the wife who's pregnant yells from the top of the stairs like, "We gotta get to the hospital!" And so my mom was blocking their car in the driveway, so uh, they bring the wife and the husband. They come down the stairs. They hop in my mom's car. My mom had like no gas in the tank, and so he's like, "I'll just stop at the gas station real quick. I'll put like a dime's worth of gas in it, and we'll get over to the hospital." So they take off with the wife. She's lying down in the back seat of my mom's car. The husband's driving. They pull into the gas station, and right as they pull into the gas station, the baby flips out and is just born. And like the wife said, it was like a warm kitten that all of a sudden like just showed up, showed up
Right.
in her PJs. And so she starts screaming to the
Wow.
husband, "The baby's here! The baby's here!" And they're not expecting it. Like they're just a few months in. What happens to be that there's a police officer right there at the gas station. He's just trying to pump his gas, and the husband sees him, yells out to him, "My wife just had a preemie baby. We need help." The officer calls it in.
Wow.
There is an ambulance that is cruising by that it doesn't have any assignment or anything. It's cruising by. The officer calls it in, and the dispatcher's like, "We got an ambulance like right next to you. We're gonna call it." The ambulance is cruising by. As it's passing the gas station, it flicks on its lights and it whips around, and they put the baby on oxygen and everything, load up the mom. And it was like they had said that if there was gas in the car and the husband tried to make it, the baby probably would have died by the time they got to the hospital.
Oh,
But
wow.
the fact that they pulled in the gas station, there was the officer right there, and then the ambulance was cruising right by. They're like, you were able to get oxygen to the baby, and it was able to live. And now she's doing great. Like she's a little bit smaller than the rest of the family, but she's like totally a legend, like for the fact that she's able to. It was so gross though, in the back of my mom's car. There was like this blood spray across the back of the back of the seat for a couple of days.
Wow.
I was like, okay, fantastic. It's just like, but the
My
story was
That's
friend,
crazy.
the fact that
a
all those
guy I
people.
used to game with, he was a police, well, still is a CMPD.
Who
And
was?
a friend of mine that I used to
Oh,
game with,
nice.
he's part of the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department.
Yeah.
I asked him, I said, "Have you ever had to deliver a
Right.
baby?" And his wife's like, she busted out laughing. She says, "Tom, have you already started drinking?" She said, "Somebody can get shot and he's fine, you know, and he's having to deal with that.
Yeah.
But something like childbirth, he won't even watch when their dog was giving birth. He had to go to a different room." She says his knees get weak.
Oh, that's
So,
so funny.
Yeah.
so anyway, listen, it's 10 o'clock. Are you doing your show today?
Oh, is it? Oh, well,
Yeah.
apparently not. I guess it's not happening today.
Well,
I'm gonna figure it out.
I need to get on
Just
anyway.
change just change the title and we'll stay live. Change the title to Perky Mornings with
Oh man, you guys are so
The
funny.
Perky Villa Annex,
That is so
right,
good.
right.
but I do have to go.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I might pop on in a few minutes and
Uh,
just do our morning warm up show. We want to be consistent with everybody, but
right. Well, that's
yeah,
the way to do.
Yeah, consistency.
yeah. But you
That's
guys
the
are
big
awesome.
thing.
Thanks for having me on again. I always appreciate the laugh.
Always. And y'all be sure and subscribe to Doug's channel. It's in it's in the description. I added it this morning, so he's part of the group now.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody else that shows up for our shows that has a channel, I've got it listed in there. If you look through it and you don't see yours in there, let me know so I can add it.
Appreciate y'all. Have a great one.
You too. Thank you for coming in
Have a
here
good
with
one.
me, Mr. Sadie. You're always welcome.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, Tom.
All right. So y'all have a
Have a good
great
holiday,
day.
you and Roberta.
All All right.
Yep.
Thank you. You too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, guys. Have a good one.